about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're loading the boat up to go out to the villages, taking out some of the supplies to the missionaries. The villages where the heartbeat of the educational program goes on here at Laymen Ministries. We're excited to take you with us this morning, go out and see what's happening. We are pulling out of port in Momburao, heading across Palawan Bay on the South China Sea to the remote village of Binawangan. The trip started out uneventful as the morning sun lit up the sky. The closer we got to open sea, the more the wind and the waves began to pick up. Our boat was greeted by all the school children and the missionaries. This is what happens every time the boat brings in supplies to the missionaries. Everyone helps to unload the boat. These children, who belong to the Aryan tribe and were once so shy they would hide, bombarded me with hugs. The wind was blowing about 40 miles an hour when we crossed Palawan Bay this morning. And the waves were probably about 2 meters tall, which is about 6 feet tall with white caps. And so we weren't able to get very good video footage this morning on the boat. You can see here the wind is just blowing like crazy.
I'm Jeffon Liorin from Mindanao, the southern part of the Philippines.
My name is Franklin Gonzalez and I came from San Jose.
My name is Janice Lioren and I'm from Mindanao.
My name is Luella Grace Gadugdo Gonzalez.
My name is Chesa Lumagi and I came from Pili, and it's in Biliran, a former part of Leyte.
I'm from Central Visayas.
Here in Binawangan, I work as a teacher and I'm teaching grade 2. Also in the church, during Sabbath day, I work also as a church pastor. And we preach to the people and we give them also Bible study.
I work here in Binawangan as a kinder teacher.
I'm teaching here in Binawangan, and actually this is my first year to be back from college. I'm teaching the grade 6 students.
I work in Binawangan as a teacher for grade 1 and grade 3. And we are also serving as village leaders, and sometimes we also serve as doctors.
We knew already, they told us everything that you are going to teach, but what surprised me a bit is that I didn't know that our work is not really to teach the children, but to teach the whole village, like everybody from young to old. I thought that we are just going to teach in the classroom, but actually we are teaching parents also and everybody in the village.
Knowing that the kids learn from you, and it's really a great feeling. And I don't know, I cannot describe it. It really gives you an incomparable happiness.
This will be our 4 years of working in the Laymen Ministry. But actually we didn't really think that we were able to stay that period of time. Because when we came here, we thought only of staying here for 7 months. But when God calls us to work, then we cannot really say no to Him.
Without knowledge of God's Word, then these people will not be able to know Jesus in their life. It's really an important thing for us to teach these people about the Word of God.
To destroy, to kill, okay, to papatay the fire, okay, and what do you use to put out fire? Water. Okay, water or sand, right? We use sand sometimes to put out fire. This is a command. Verses or stories or sentences from the Bible that is declarative.
The village of Binawangan is one of the most recent villages that we entered about 8 years ago on this end of the island of Mindoro. A lot of challenges when you first start a project like this in these remote Katutubo villages, but by God's grace there's been a lot of progress. Last year we had 2 German missionaries, student missionaries actually, that came here, and they raised some funds from Germany to build this new church here in Binawangan. And so now we have a very thriving village here with a lot of things happening with the education, and it's amazing to watch the young kids actually leading out in the church services here, because really the purpose that Laymen Ministries here is to train the nationals to be able to minister to their own people. Our job, even though it might be kind of a long haul, is going to try to train these people to become teachers to their own people, to be preachers to their own people, working amongst their own people group, ultimately to put Laymen Ministries out of business in this village. Laymen Ministries doesn't just come in and work for like 2 weeks and do some kind of evangelistic series and leave. We're in for the long haul to set a proper type of grounding to take place so that these kids can actually do what we are doing right now with them amongst their own people group.
When we first came here, the students were very shy, like would not stand for people, would not sing well. They sometimes covered their faces when they sang. But as time passed by, there was really a change in their behavior, in their confidence. Now they are more confident. And what really amazes us is that they are now leading the church. They share with others what they have learned from the school and from the church. And it's really amazing to see our young people leading in the church. And not only leading, but preaching.
We left this morning at 5 o'clock from Binawangan in pitch black dark because we thought maybe the Mahian winds would be a lot less. Well, it turned out that they weren't a lot less. And so we were battling waves and probably 40, 45 mile an hour winds plus. And we made it here, and we have a sheltered bay here in Pinabayanan, which is kind of nice to park in the boat. I was excited to meet old friends and the new student missionaries here in Pinabayanan. We arrived right when they were starting their flag-raising ceremony. We had worship together with the staff, where I shared words of encouragement.
My name is Sarah Hams and I'm 23 years old and I'm from Germany.
My name is Calvin Moses Di Arellano. I am 22 years old from Oriental Mindoro.
My name is Sunshine El Trapse. I'm 21 years old.
I'm Matthias Strack. I'm from Germany. I'm now 18 years old and I'm from the city of Karlsruhe in Germany.
I am a missionary teacher. I am teaching grade 2 in Pinagbayanan, a small village in the Philippines.
I'm teaching here in Pinagbayanan Katutubo Excel School. I'm here as a missionary teacher and I'm teaching Kinder A.
I'm working here in Laymen Ministry, Pinagbayanan Katutubo Excel School as grade 1 teacher.
Life in the Philippines, you know, it's very different from Germany or from the USA. I was first a little bit shocked when I saw all these huts and how the people are living here.
It's very exciting and adventurous to teach in this village.
The people here still believe in some spirits. It's sometimes also hard for us to influence them in Christianity if they still have sometimes the background of some spirits.
It seems for me that Jesus is closer here or something else, because we don't have the technology like cell phone we have, but we are not using so much like TV, like radio and all those things. And it seems that without all those things, I'm closer to Jesus.
Very nice to be a missionary because here I'm very far from city life, and I can live here in a quiet and peace.
This is an experience you'll have for your whole life. This is a time where you can build up a relationship to Christ which you will have nowhere. Here, no internet, no telecommunication, and so you really can focus in your relationship, you can pray, and through all the experiences you have here in the village, you experience Christ and God in your life. This is what I'm happy about here.
During Sabbath afternoon, we had outreach and we visited some places on the mountain, a remote area with children like Katutubo, and it really impressed me like that. If ever that God touch you or call you, don't ever hesitate. Accept, grab the opportunity, and teach and be a missionary and ambassador of Christ.
I can only encourage everybody to come here to the Philippines and experience for yourself what God will do in your life when you come here.
What we're witnessing right now is what is referred to as the amihan, which means the prevailing northeastern winds. The gusts are probably around 40, 45 miles an hour and more. The swells on the ocean are around 2 meters, which is about 6, 7, 8 feet right in there, up and down. We actually left the village of Binawangan this morning really early, before daybreak, in the dark on the boat, hoping that the sea would be quite calm. But we ended up getting into some really gale force winds and big, huge swells, and it was quite frightening because we were in the dark the first half hour, 45 minutes of our trip, and it's been like this the whole time we've been on this side of the island. Now what we're wondering is, should we actually take the trip with the boat tomorrow morning around this end of the island, right into the Amihan, and try to get to the village of Agbaliti? I think it helps you to have an understanding of the challenges that the missionaries have in getting supplies to some of these villages different times of the year, depending on the weather conditions like these. Well, the decision has been made this morning. We're going to walk all the way to Agbaliti because the Amihan is too big for the boat to be able to go around there. Too dangerous for the boat. So as you can see, the waves are pretty big. Part of the way that we have to walk it along the beach, and then we have to go up into the mountain on some trails that are hard to even find, and then make our way over to Agbaliti this morning. When we arrived at Agbaliti, we were greeted by Ding, a longtime missionary with Laymen Ministries. The kids were clean and very attentive to their studies. Well, this was exam time too, so they were really concentrating.
I am Dindo Pernia, and the people call me Ding.
I am Isabel Alferez Paz. I'm 26 years old, and I am from Sablayan, Occidental Mindoro.
I am Richelda Indico Pernia, and
I came from Region 5, Naga.
I'm teaching grade 1 and 2, and I'm enjoying my work here as a teacher. Being a missionary is a matter of putting yourself into a commitment with God, that whatever happens, you would trust God, whatever challenges you might experience in the village. My friends would say, like my classmates would say, oh, you're in the jungle and you couldn't even go to the town for 5 months, like that. But I had been telling them that it's rewarding to work here with with my students and with the people also.
In this village, uh, many parents are not supported to finish the education of their students,
Yes.
and the old folks here discourage the students to continue their studies.
With my students, inside the classroom, it was a challenge that my students before, they were so shy to express themselves, and right now they can express themselves, they can express their thoughts, and that's what I think one of the best encouraging experience I have been.
This is Nori, and how old are you, Nori?
10 years
You're,
old.
I'm sorry?
10 years old.
8?
10.
10, you're 10 years old. And you live in what village? What's the name of your village? You don't know where you live? This is Agbaliti, isn't it? Well, she's decided that she's going to show us where she lives. And so we wanted to take you to Nori's house and to see how a Katutubo home is and where her... Is your mother home at your house? No? Your father? Tata? Your tata? At your bahay?
Her mother passed away.
Oh, okay. So you want to go to your house? Let's go. I've been coming to Agbaliti for many years, so I know this village really well. I'll let you go first. After you, ma'am.
This is where the way going to where? That is Katay.
This is a typical Katutubo home. I guess the father, or they call it Tata, is not feeling too good. Amagadang. And he's got a nice house here. Can I go in? Okay. Oh, she's being really shy. But this is a traditional Katutubo home. The family is sleep together on one bed here. And this is sister. Kumusta? And they do their cooking like this. This is the kitchen table and the typical thatched roof here. And then sometimes they'll have like another bedroom, like up here where the family will sleep. So this actually house has a couple different bedrooms. And then, not really quite sure what this room is. They have a couple little rooms here where they have some different things in it. But you can see how simple they live. They have like a dirt floor, cooking with wood inside. And really, just really simple construction. Most of this lumber is made with chainsaw, and it's a fairly hard wood. But this is just a standard, typical Katutubo home. Sometimes there could be like 5, 6 children and a mother and father living in a place like this. Today's Friday morning and we're going to drive all the way over to Sablayan to visit Louis and Abel in the prison ministry for Sabbath. This is a little bit of a deja vu because probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago we did exactly the same thing on video, except we were driving a beat up little van that we borrowed from a friend, and we really questioned whether or not it was going to make it all the way over there or not. But now we're driving Laymen Ministries' little Ranger pickup truck, which we've been blessed with here. So we're going to check out what's happening with the prison ministry, and we're going to show you just a few sights along the way on the drive all the way down to Sablayan. About 10 years ago, when we used to do this drive to Sablayan, we'd take the buses, and about 2/3 of this road was gravel, and it was terrible. You'd have to have a cloth to put over your mouth, and the dust was just billowing up, and by the time you got there, you really needed to take a quick rinse just to get the dirt off your body. In the Philippines, agriculture is a very big part of their culture. Much of it centers around planting and harvesting rice, which is a main staple here. Another common agricultural product in the Philippines is corn. A good part of the corn harvest is used to feed livestock. The green kernels are laid out on a flat surface like a basketball court or a highway to fully dry. This way the corn can be stored for a longer period of time. On Sabbath morning, we took Laymen Ministries' Miracle Jeepney to the prison. We call it a Miracle Jeepney because it has proven itself indestructible over the years, even being swamped once in a river for nearly 2 days. This is a regular routine every Sabbath, as lay members from churches in the surrounding areas are picked up to go help minister and participate in the prison church services with the inmates.
Sa paghulay mo'y isip mo'y naglalakbay, nakatalaw sa kawalan. Lumipas na naman.
My name is Abel Miralles. I have a wife and 2 daughters. I work in the prison ministry by the Laymen Ministries.
I've been working with the Laymen Ministries in the prison ministry about 13 years.
I've been involved with the prison ministry for about 12 years now.
The area of the prison facilities is about 62,000 acres. That's a very huge facility.
The objective of prison ministry is to educate inmates spiritually, because we want to recover their lost moral and spiritual aspects.
Every Saturday from Sabbath school program down to the hour of worship service, they are the one doing the program alone. As we teach the inmates, there are consistent discipleships happening because of the evening Bible study inside dormitory, where the inmates are teaching their fellow inmates, and also the things that they're learning when we are around. That's one of the great factors that we should consider. The inmates come and go, but as the inmates go inside, when they were released, they went out as a missionary.
There are inmates who have been released and they're living now outside the prison. Mostly of them are in the central part of the Philippines, and we have communication with each other. Especially during Friday evening, they send text messages telling that they are in the church attending the Vesper and greeting us Happy Sabbath.
It's very rewarding to hear that after the inmates were released, they still continue with their faith.
According to 2 Peter 3:18, grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ.